Hey, shout out to all the people that voted for Trump that are going to miss out on their Q4 bonuses for Christmas because their businesses have to buy extra product to last them for a year to offset the future tariffs that they're going to have to pay when Trump goes into office.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country.
These people are arguing with their bosses over what a tariff means. Their bosses are coming in there going, you're not getting a Christmas bonus because we have to buy things in advance because of these upcoming tariffs. And the employees are going, that's not true. The people who are about to find out that the employers can change the definition of overtime, working them for up to 40 hours more per month over the 40 hours a week. And it's not called overtime. They're just getting more work for free out of the labor force, and listening to those employees go, that's not true.
So a company in Pennsylvania today, all the people were brought in, all the employees, and the boss had to explain to them that they were not going to be getting their Christmas bonuses this year because of Trump's tariffs. They are now having to buy a year's worth of products ahead of time in order to stave off those tariffs.
Imagine gearing up for Christmas and counting on that Christmas bonus only to find that it's gone, thanks to the ripple effect of Trump's planned tariffs on imports. Well, this is what's happening to American workers as they are in shock and companies are scrambling to stockpile on materials. But what does this mean for your wallet and the holidays? Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for watching us today. If you are new, kindly consider subscribing and also leave me a comment at the end of this section. So let's jump into the videos. I'm gonna be right back with more commentary.
Hey, shout out to all the people that voted for Trump that are going to miss out on their Q4 bonuses for Christmas because their businesses have to buy extra product to last them for a year to offset the future tariffs that they're going to have to pay when Trump goes into office. Trump 2024.
So a company in Pennsylvania today, all the people were brought in, all the employees, and the boss had to explain to them that they were not going to be getting their Christmas bonuses this year because of Trump's tariffs. They are now having to buy a year's worth of products ahead of time in order to stave off those tariffs. Of course, all the employees were disappointed because they thought that the other country paid the tariffs, which is misinformation that the Republicans put out there to try to fool people. The leopard's gonna eat your face. We're gonna hear more and more stories about this over and over and over again. People are going to regret their decision and realize that they have been conned.
These people are arguing with their bosses over what a tariff means. Their bosses are coming in there going, you're not getting a Christmas bonus because we have to buy things in advance because of these upcoming tariffs. And the employees are going, that's not true. The people who are about to find out that the employers can change the definition of overtime, working them for up to 40 hours more per month over the 40 hours a week. And it's not called overtime. They're just getting more work for free out of the labor force, and listening to those employees go, that's not true. They know more than the people signing the paychecks, you guys. That's not true. That's not what Dumpty said. That's not what they heard in the pulpit this past weekend. By the red liquid of Jeebus, they rebuke that. Darling, that's what you were so proud to vote for. You told us to shut up and we don't know what we're talking about and we're low IQ and uneducated and we don't know and we need to do our research. Why don't you just tell your boss that? Why don't you give them the same argument you told? Is it not working? Is the same argument not working? All those folks who are about to find out that the no tax on tips is something that is meant for CEOs and massive bonuses, not that $5 that was left on the table for you. That is absolutely still being taxed at a higher rate because your taxes are going up. No one under, what is it, 300 or 360? I think it's 360K a year is getting a tax cut. That's what happens when you listen to people who tell you not to read. I was told not to research anything and to just stay steadfast in my faith and beliefs and to just do what I was told. How was I supposed to know that I should actually Google and read a little bit? And that is why they love low education and steeple people. Can you imagine calling your supplier, your vendor as a contractor, and they're like, hey, prices are going up, and you're like, no, they're not. That's not what I was told. Maybe believe whatever you want, but you better buy up now because the prices are going to quintuple in just a couple of months. Good luck building anything. Ooh, and solar is going to get hit so hard. It's already been bursting, but holy shit. That's not what we were told by the people who are known to cheat, steal, and lie to get their way. Of course I believed the known liar and cheat to tell me the truth. Of course I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Do you know what? I just feel like they weren't lying to me. I just wanted to feel like that, and I just believed that they knew what they were doing and what was going to be best. So, I mean, you can't really blame me. And, you know, we're all in this together, okay? It doesn't matter who I voted for. It doesn't matter who voted for what, okay, guys? We're all in this together. So, who's got sugar? Can I borrow sugar? Anybody? Does anyone want to help me?
What Trump did is place tariffs on Chinese imports. By the time the imports get here, China's been paid for the stuff. Maybe they get net 120 terms, right? But in a sense, China has already transacted. The American company who brings the goods in pays the tariffs.
Really?
You're kidding right now.
No, I thought he said he was raising the tariffs by 50 to 100% for Chinese imports.
The tariffs are paid by the company that does the importing. So if you want to build a building in the U.S. and you import Chinese steel, you pay China for the steel, you pay the U.S. government the tariff. This is why it's inflationary. Economists have looked at Trump's tariff proposal and said it would make stuff more expensive for Americans by adding the cost of the tariffs to the total cost of production. So that's the way tariffs work. A lot of people don't seem to know how tariffs work, which is sad because this is how people end up getting sucked into Trump's vortex. He says something that sounds good. I'm going to punish China with tariffs.
Yeah.
In this case, that sounds good. You know, Chinese tariffs. They're paid by the American companies.
Wow.
That's why it's so damaging.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about stocking up before Trump's tariffs drive up the price? Here are some everyday items that might be in danger of higher prices. So if you've noticed the price of things going up lately, you might want to brace yourself for even higher costs. President-elect Donald Trump has proposed a new set of tariffs that could affect everything from electronics to food. But what exactly are tariffs and how will they impact your wallet? Let's break it down. Simply put, a tariff is a tax on imported goods. When goods come into the United States from another country, the government charges a tariff to make them more expensive. This is meant to encourage people to buy goods made in the United States instead, which does help local businesses but can make imported items cost more for consumers. Trump has proposed a broad tariff plan that includes a 10 to 20% tariff on all imported goods from other countries, a 60% to 100% tariff on goods imported from China. These tariffs are part of his strategy to reduce the U.S. trade deficit and encourage companies to bring more production back to the United States. The tariffs would impact a wide variety of products, including many everyday items that you might use. Here's a breakdown by category to help you better understand. Electronics, such as gaming laptops, prices could increase by up to 45%. If you're thinking of buying one soon, it could go from $1,000 to $1,450. Gaming consoles, expect a 40% price increase as many of the consoles are made in China. Monitors, prices could rise by about 31%. Clothing and textiles are included too. Clothes and shoes. Many clothing brands import from overseas, and these tariffs could cause prices to go up by 10% to 25%. Jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. Popular items in everyday clothing could get more expensive. Household goods like furniture that is imported could see a price hike of up to 20%. Appliances, so items like refrigerators, washing machines, and microwaves may also rise in price due to higher tariffs on metals and electronic electronic components, food and beverages imported. If you're a fan of exotic fruits or snacks from abroad, be prepared for price increases due to tariffs on imports, especially if the goods are coming from China. So canned foods and beverages are included as well. Imported beverages and canned food might also cost more. Depending on the item, consumers can see prices increase anywhere from 10% to 45%. For electronics like gaming laptops and consoles, this means a jump in price by hundreds of dollars. For everyday goods like clothing and household items, expect a smaller increase, but still noticeable. At first glance, tariffs may seem like a way to bring more money into the United States, but they also have a downside. With higher tariffs, consumers will face higher prices on many products. For the average family, this could mean paying more for things that they need and want, whether it's a new laptop, some fresh fruit, or even a new pair of shoes. The extra cost could add up quickly, making it harder for working class families to budget and save. And here's where the irony comes in, right? Many people voted for President-elect Trump in the hopes of lowering prices on everyday items. But with these proposed tariffs, those same voters might soon find themselves paying way more for the very products that they rely on. The promise of lower costs might seem to be backfiring, as the tariffs could have the opposite effect and leave many consumers with higher bills. So, now that you know what could go up in price.
One of the more popular searches on Google right now are, what is a tariff, what are tariffs, and how do they work? Now you want to know how a tariff works, or even what is a tariff. You're about to find out. Not only are you about to find out, but you're about to find out you are the one that pays for it. We are the paying party. The country or China doesn't pay for it. The American company pays for it and passes it on to you. So you're barely finding that out because of how popular the search is right now. But you didn't take the time to figure it out prior. But now you're like, oh shit, what is a tariff? Man, who's gonna pay for a tariff? Yeah, you're gonna find out. And companies are already preparing for that. They're already buying product ahead of time. Do your homework. Do your research, okay? Don't be a dumb shit. And then afterwards, because let's be honest, you didn't care about the tariffs. You don't care about the economy. You really wanted your guy in office.
Oh, I found a quiet place to be. Well, I had just got off a meeting with my partners for my business. And basically, we've decided to go ahead on and try to buy up at least 6 months supply. We already have 6 months supply because of the proposed tariffs. And we're going to actually forego salaries to make sure we have what we need because, the proposed tariffs. And see, a lot of people think the foreign companies pay tariffs. And no, the American companies pay tariffs, and then the prices go up, and then the part of those tariff taxes are passed on to the American consumer. I am a black-owned business. I have a fragrance brand called AZ Apothecary, and I'm kind of glad that we still have some stock. Most of my stuff is American-made, but a lot of my containers, jars are coming in from China. And also there's a lot of companies that are gearing up to mass stock up on supplies and forego people's bonuses because of the simple fact of those 50% tariffs that they're going to be imposed. So what a tariff is paid by the American people, American companies, not the foreign companies. So when those things are imported in and those taxes are charged, it's going on, the Americans are paying that. So basically, ultimately, it is going to affect you, not the foreign country. Again, those who voted against the interests of Americans, you made a very big mistake. And now everybody's going to pretty much pay for it. And so we are preparing right now. Like I said, I'm okay. I'm always going to be okay because I understand how government works. I'm actually going to be finishing out a certification in local government, and but you know, a lot of people are going to be going without bonuses this year. They're going to expect, no, you're not going to get a bonus. They're already starting. People are already losing their bonuses because the company has to make executive decisions to stock up on supplies so they won't have to purchase after January the 21st. And you know what? It is unfortunate, you know, very unfortunate. So I'm like, good luck with that.
Listen, don't you like it when Karma spins the block real fast and, you know, kind of shows herself early on? I do too. Because here's the thing. There was a company that made a post today basically saying how they had to explain to their employees that they will not be doing Christmas bonuses this year because ahead of the tariffs that will more than likely be coming after the inauguration, they're going to go ahead and buy supplies and materials so that they can kind of gauge and see how this is all going to work. But they don't want to be caught with with their pants down. So they're definitely going to go ahead and get these materials now. So the people are just like, no, like, you know, we're supposed to get our Christmas bonuses. You know, he said that, you know, the cost, like, we're not going to pay that. And like I said, it is very sad that we have to tell grown-ass people who should have learned this shit in the 5th grade, probably got a refresher course around high school, and maybe, you know, if you got some college in there. But here's the thing. The fact that they are trying to take history out of, you know, I don't know, school, this is why we're about to be doomed to repeat it, because many of you did not know we paid the tariffs. You're not going to get another country to pay the tariffs. And we have to stop thinking that, you know, the U.S. is the only developed country around here. Because, you know, if you've ever traveled to these other countries, you'll see they have all the things and more than what we have. So stop thinking that, you know, the U.S. is going to bully people into paying shit for us to have stuff at a lower cost. It's not going to happen. I don't care who's in office. And it damn sure ain't going to happen with them because they know how easily he's manipulated by just giving him a couple of compliments. But here, I'm going to tell you a little historical context so that, you know, maybe you can put this into perspective. So around 1929, the Great Depression era, you know, some of us will remember that. Many of us won't. But a lot of you should have remembered that when you read it in your history books. Now, you'll know anything about the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930. Those were two representatives that basically were just like, hey, we're going to try to stimulate the economy. So we're going to come up with this act or whatever by increasing tariffs about 20%. Is that sounding familiar? Yeah, because they tried to increase the tariffs by 20% on foreign imports. Now, this was going to protect the farmers. Sounding real interesting, isn't it? Because the farmers are having a little bit of problems right now too, right? Yeah, so this was supposed to, you know, insulate their issues. But now other industries were like, hey, well, what about us? You know, what are we, chopped liver? Like, you know, we want in on this. Okay, so now everybody's trying to lobby and do all the things. Global trade plummeted within that 4-year span. It got so bad that 25 countries retaliated and put tariffs on their own shit. And was just like, yeah, we're not doing this. What do y'all think is going to happen? Yes, there are going to be a lot of other companies that are going to be like, yeah, I know, you know, we're kind of like Trump people, but we also know how this shit actually works because we're a real business and we know real business practices. So ahead of all this, yeah, a lot of y'all might not get Christmas bonuses. Or end of year bonuses. Because, you know, for some of
Donald Trump broke our economy in 3 steps. I'll walk you through it, but first make sure you like and repost this video so everybody understands the true consequences of a second Trump term. That's more debt, more layoffs, more inflation. Trump started with Obama's well-balanced economy. We had low inflation, low unemployment, low interest rates, and strong GDP growth. But look what he did. This is where he took office, and this is our deficit each year. For absolutely no reason, Donald Trump took a $600 billion deficit and blew it up to a $1 trillion deficit, and that was before COVID hit. The second thing Trump did was plant the seeds for inflation. This is the federal rate. The Federal Reserve was already increasing the interest rate during Donald Trump's tenure to offset his insane, reckless spending, and he complained about the Fed raising the rates the entire time. The only reason we didn't have inflation in this period was because the Fed was offsetting Donald Trump's insanity. When did we get inflation, though? Right there. And that is the third thing on the list, Donald Trump's botched response to the virus. Trump's complete lack of leadership and insanely slow response resulted in the Fed cutting the rate all the way back down to 0, all at the same time. Trump added $2 trillion in federal spending in 2020. This meant that Donald Trump handed Joe Biden a $3 trillion deficit when he left office. And what happens when you have a 0% Fed rate and you have runaway reckless spending? Inflation. This inflation bomb exploded over the course of 2 years, but as of about a year and a half ago, inflation has leveled off thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's policies. Trump treated our economy just like his daddy's inheritance. He inherited a gold mine and he ran it directly into the ground. It's the same thing he did with Trump casinos, with Trump steaks, with Trump vodka, with Trump University, and every other thing he has touched. I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in seeing if our economy can survive yet another Trump failure.
The Biden administration did adopt Trump's previous tariffs, and yes, they did implement their own. However, Trump's tariffs in 2018 and 2019 were targeted tariffs. So were Biden, meaning they are only targeting certain goods that are being imported into the US. Whereas Trump now wants to implement universal tariffs, meaning everything that is now being imported into the US will have a tax on it, making everything that is imported into the US more expensive. We are literally one of the world's most largest importers. 30 to 35% of consumer goods are imported into the US. 90% of apparel and footwear is imported into the US. And so are 50% of our electronics. So as a welder that works with metal every single day pretty much, in terms of metal, yes, the tariffs put in place by the Biden administration and what was put in place previously by the Trump administration did affect us a little bit. However, it's going to be affecting us even more now that just about everything that is going to be imported into the US is now going to have a tax on it. Meaning that things that we could previously get with no import tax on it will now have an import tax. So, no. I have gotten my Christmas bonus every year under the Biden administration. I now will not be getting that because of Trump's universal tariffs.
All right, folks, as you heard it, actually, so many people are scared, especially, and disappointed, especially American workers, because they were planning this holiday to have, their Christmas bonuses and, spend it with their family. But many of them were in shock as these companies are actually starting to say there is no Christmas bonus actually this December because we are trying to restock and stock for materials, which, most of them, they get those materials from places like China, Africa, Asia, places which have cheap raw materials. And they're saying we have to stockpile our materials just before Trump's, planned tariffs are actually put in place, because Trump said we are going to punish China, we are going to punish all these countries that rip us off. But as much as that sounds good, it also has a ripple effect on American companies. Why? Because many manufacturers in the US actually depend on raw materials that are made outside of the US. So that means that everything that they import from outside, be it raw material, even small things like sugar, small things like your groceries, small things like, chocolate, because chocolate might be made in America, yes, American manufacturers, but America doesn't have cocoa, which is a main ingredient for making chocolate. All these raw materials are coming from outside. Things like steel, things like the gasoline that you use, for instance, all these materials are coming from outside. And when the tariffs come, it's gonna raise prices. And companies are saying, no, we cannot afford to pay Christmas bonuses. We have to stockpile on materials so that at least we can have a cushion and see what happens when the tariffs are in place. So many people are in shock actually for not getting these bonuses that they were used to. Many were planning for that. The thing is very surprising. Why vote for something without researching? For the past couple of days, the top search on Google has been actually, what is a tariff? Because most of these MAGA voters actually voted for Trump, and all his slogan, we're gonna be punishing China and the rest of countries that are ripping us off, we're gonna make America great again. They did not research for the policies that they were actually voting for. Many of them do not know what a tariff is. Many of them think that a tariff means that the companies outside of the United States are gonna pay for that. No, on the contrary, a tariff means that any tariff that the US government imposes on imports, it's gonna be paid by US companies. And US companies, what do? In order to make a profit, they are gonna pass down that cost to the consumer. So that means it's gonna be paid from American pockets, actually. And Americans are gonna feel it when these tariffs are actually put in place. Many of them, MAGA voters, are now crying. They don't know, what is a tariff. They're searching up what is a tariff. If you go on TikTok, the hashtag is Tariff Explained, because many of these MAGA voters voted for Trump and Trump policies and tariffs and deportations, all these policies, but without knowing the implications and the repercussions of these policies on the American economy, even on the American citizen for his day-to-day life. So one of the ripple effect for this actually is gonna be either prices going down or some of the products that you are used to seeing in your stores are gonna be missing. Yeah, that is what's gonna happen, guys. So as you have seen, many are actually surprised that we are not getting this Christmas bonus. Why? That's not true. The prices are going down. So the employees are actually arguing with the employers about what a tariff is. They are saying Trump did not say that, because Trump says what he wants to say in order to win an election. But on the other hand, what actually happens on the ground is something different, something that has a different implication on the people. And people are starting to feel this by losing things like their Christmas bonuses, because companies are scared. They're trying to stockpile their materials just before, Trump is sworn in. Thank you very much for watching this far, guys. What do you think about these tariffs, and what do you think about these people who are losing their Christmas bonuses and the MAGA voters for not researching what a tariff is before actually voting for such a policy? Thank you very much for watching this far, guys. Again, if you're not subscribed, I'm gonna kindly ask you to do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, like this video, and drop me a comment. Thank you very much. As always, see you on the next episode.